Previously in Storm Kastið, episode 18, Olsen talked about the relationship between two players, specifically the mindset and their abilities. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh yeah. Big studio production presents Storm Kastið from Casted featuring Olsen. And don't forget Martha. Today we talk about
Ow!
Part 3.
Alpha Stories, Part 3!
featuring Diddi.
The medieval times.
It's like a hospital
There
drama.
is no medieval times.
I think it's like a hospital drama, like in the animal hospital drama.
Okay, you're both gonna be very disappointed.
Because we get so sexual and we'd both be shocked and stunned.
I split this up into chapters. I don't have a name for the story. My document is called Werewolf Story.
Spoilers.
But it should be called Alpha Story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear us well enough?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. We put the mic away from us now. We don't need to hold it.
Yeah, it's pretty good now.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start.
I close my eyes.
Chapter 1.
Yes.
I haven't read
I've
this.
stopped listening to Olsen, I mean.
Okay.
I haven't read this since I wrote it, and I'm hoping it's somewhat good.
Okay.
The only person you can rely on is yourself. I have to get this job. Lavita thinks to herself. For all her life, Lavita has loved animals. When she was 5, her family got their first pet, a golden hamster that they called Goldilocks, because of the hamster's unusually long and locky hair coming from its ears. That was the first time Lavita realized what true unconditional love meant. Unfortunately, Goldilocks used to get exhausted after playing with Lavita, and one day, after a long day of playing, Lavita's parents, Aunt Angelica and Rolf, had to take Goldilocks away.
This sounds so wrong.
He had become too exhausted.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Later that day, they told Lavita that Goldilocks wouldn't be coming back for a while.
No.
They told Lavita that Goldilocks was sick and had to go to a hospital to recover. Lavita had more pets when growing up, and her love for animals led her to a career as a veterinarian.
Damn.
All she wanted to do with her life was to help animals in any way she could. Although she would have to go through university to be able to work as a vet,
True.
she had already started reading about how to treat injuries, and all she could find about animal anatomy. Anatomy?
Yes.
Lavita was applying for an assistant job at the local vet clinic. This way, she would be able to get money for vet school and at the same time be able to help animals. This would not only be her first job, but this was also her first interview. Lavita was stressed. Her interview was at 10 o'clock the next morning. But that wouldn't stop her from studying all night about animals. This would surely help her get the job. Lavita is a 17-year-old girl with brown hair and blue eyes.
Ooh.
Her hair was slightly curly and reached her shoulders.
Marta.
She would usually keep it in a knot behind her back. She wasn't skinny, but she wasn't chubby either. Her eyes were beady and clear with a twinkle of determination. Her ears were slightly pointed, like you would imagine an elf's ears were. On the whole, she looked like an average teenage girl trying to blend in. Standing out wasn't good at the school she was in.
True.
Chapter 2.
You have chapters and everything.
I'm here for an interview, Lavita said to the vet at the local clinic. A tall man in his early 40s, with short blonde hair and a sad look in his eyes.
Oh.
She hadn't met him before, but somehow he felt familiar, like they had known each other in a different life. He wore a white doctor's robe and wore glasses. His posture wasn't great, and he hardly looked Levita in the eyes while they spoke. Levita, right? I'm John, and I'm the resident vet in this clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you. John reached his hand out to Levita to greet her, and Levita hesitantly shook his hand. Ever since the accident, she had been more wary of people she had just met.
What accident?
Nice to meet you too. So why do you want this job? Levita responded, I would like to become a vet when I grow up. I really loved John, quickly interrupted her, and asked, Are you willing to answer the phone and work the computer? Levita, a bit shook, answered, Yes, of course. Then you've got the job. Congratulations, John muttered. That's it? Levita asked, while thinking to herself. Doesn't he need to know if I can handle animals or help him diagnose them? That's it, John said. Job hours are 8 to 5 weekdays. No need to come over on weekends.
Oh.
Thank you so much. As Levita said this, the phone rang. Go on. I'll see you tomorrow. I've got work to do.
Whoa.
Damn.
Levita walks home. I'm so stupid. Of course he doesn't need my help diagnosing the animals. He's a professional. She can't stop smiling, though. One step closer to my dream job. Chapter 3. Levita, I'm coming over. I need your help. Before she could answer, Gabrielle hung up the phone. It's the middle of the night. What is so important that it can't wait until morning? Levita couldn't fall asleep again after that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a full moon, and
no.
the birds were unusually loud for being in the middle of the night. Just a couple of minutes later, she hears something from her window. It's stones. Outside, Gabrielle stands. Gabrielle was Levita's best friend, even though they had only known each other for half a year. Gabrielle wore harem pants with a yellow and purple flower pattern, with a short tank top and round yellow tinted glasses.
I'm so confused with this guy.
She had always been a bit of a hippie, a complete opposite to her parents, who were big motorheads. The only thing missing from her look was a flower in her head. She usually had a different flower each day. Gabrielle had arrived in her parents' old pickup truck, which she was allowed to use as if it were her own car. Levita, come down here! Oh wait, Levita, come down here! Gabrielle whispered sharply. What is it? Just come down here. I need your help. Levita went outside to meet Gabrielle. What are you doing so late? I've got to get to Kensington before sunrise. Why?
Okay.
Doesn't matter. What matters is that I need your help. I accidentally ran over a wolf. It's still alive, and I have it in the back of my truck. We need to get it better. I can't have its death on my conscience.
Oh.
Levita hesitated for a second, and then said, Let's get to the clinic. At the clinic, they get it inside, but then Gabrielle quickly says, Thank you so much. I really need to go. It's almost sunrise already. I owe you for this. She jumps into her car and drives away before Levita even has a chance to say anything. Chapter 4. What am I supposed to do with a wolf? I know it's very weak, but it's a dangerous animal. The least I could do is mend its wounds. She quickly tends the wolf's wounds. The wounds seem to be getting better on their own, though. She manages to wrap some of the wounds up in gauze. She leaves the room for a couple of minutes. The sun is just about to come up. There's a short ruckus in the other room, but then it goes quiet. She slowly opens the door, only to find an open window, and no wolf.
No.
She looks out the window and sees a boy, her age, running away with a slight limp. What's strange is that the boy is completely naked. She quickly looks away, her heart pounding. That was the first time in her life that she had seen someone naked in real life. At least he wasn't facing me, she thought. She couldn't shake the feeling that she knew the boy, though. He looked awfully familiar.
Oh.
The end. a bit short.
Damn.
Yeah, and you said her name so many times. That was the
Of
first thing I
course.
noticed.
Olsen was
Counting. I counted 28 times, but I'm not sure if I missed in the beginning.
Like I say, I'm not an expert storyteller,
I love
and
it.
I'm just gonna write her name over and over again.
Yeah, and I have also one question. You
Yes.
she did the job interview, and he was like, "Come back." But how did you get the keys to get to the vet office?
So this was a bit later. I probably should have said this was a couple of weeks later.
Okay, that makes sense.
That does make sense, because I was like, damn, she's just breaking into the clinic already.
She got a job and
Yeah.
just broke in.
So my thinking was this was like a month later or something, but I forgot to write it down.
You're clipping. We don't hear you there. If you're saying something, we don't know.
Hello.
What you're saying. Hi. What did you say?
My thought was that this was like 1 month later, but I forgot to write it down.
And also Gabriella, if she was a girl or a boy, I was so lost at the moment. I was like,
Yeah, he was like, I'm so confused by this boy's looks. And I was like, it's a girl. And he was like, no.
because I heard you said he, and then she, and then he, and I was like, is it non-binary? Is it being gender fluid? And who
I don't think I said he.
No, I don't know.
No, I think
You were-
Olsen is just cray.
Yeah, but you were also glitching a lot in this part, so we missed
Oh,
I think,
yeah.
a little bit of it. We didn't hear one part, so we will hear it when I listen to the podcast.
Yeah, it's
I
probably
think I
because
know
I
what you
lowered
said
my
in-
microphone volume and you like Discord clips out after
Yeah.
or doesn't go in until after I reach some point.
Oh, okay, good thing you recorded it at least.
Yes, I recorded it.
It was a very good story.
With chapters.
I thought it was very funny that she saw his butt and she was like, I've never seen a naked person before.
And she was like, I know
I'm
this
glad.
person.
Yes.
I know this
But
person.
I feel like I know him.
this person from the back.
Yeah. Who knows a person from the... Okay, yeah, I understand. You know.
I can know you
Olsen
from the back.
also knows.
I know you from the back, and I know
Oh.
Diddi from the back.
Oh,
Not
Ooh.
neat.
so
Not neat.
now you've heard the first part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
This was kind of the introduction.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to go through, but I got to this point. I had like almost 3 pages, and I was like, this is good. This is good. At least I got to some werewolfy things.
Yeah, true.
I liked it, and I thought you were very brave to make her a vet, because Icelandic people often say W instead of
Yes, that's
V.
true.
So
Icelanders
I
have
always
very,
try to
like-
keep away from that word, because everyone thinks I'm saying like wet.
What?
Yeah.
And
Icelanders don't. Well, the Icelandic language doesn't have a W,
Yeah.
yeah, but we
and
still
and we have no difference. Like we have a difficulty saying the difference.
Like vulva.
yeah, I guess V often sounds like W for us. And, I've never really had a trouble with it, but I became pretty like aware of it because an American boy would make fun of me for it.
Oh,
And you were like,
Because-
you are wet.
No, because I said something about a wet, and he was like, a what? And I was like, a wet, and he was like, what? And he just wouldn't understand me, and I was like, an animal doctor, and he was like, oh, a vet, and I was like, yes.
He's very wet.
How can you not get that from the, like, what we were talking about? And then later in the same day, we were doing something with meat.
Okay.
And I said, there's a lot of veins in there. And he was like, what? What is
I
it
heard
there?
this story.
And I was like,
veins.
veins. And he was like, what?
What?
Veins.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the blood goes through. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, inside the meat, like, the blood
Americans.
goes through veins. And he was like, oh.
Like,
And
I know that I have had trouble with V and W, just like I did right now when I was going to say with.
Oh, what?
But-
with?
Yeah, I almost said with.
Icelandic with. I'm so perplexed with this whole situation.
But it is like one of the difficulties with with being an Icelander
I
and trying to
thought you
speak
were
English.
very brave, because I try to keep away from that word as much as I can, and usually I just say, animal doctor, because I don't want to say it. That man, the American man, scarred me for life.
That's why you say
Scarred for
what
life.
when you're wet.
Yes.
What?
What?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What?
What are you doing here, man? I'm
I
just
hope
what?
this.
I thought it was very brave, and it was a very nice story, actually. It was a really nice story about a girl following her dreams.
It was PG.
Yeah, it was cute. Not much abuse.
No. I mentioned the accident,
Yes,
Um,
we are very intrigued by this accident.
but I haven't really decided what the accident was.
And will the doctor come more in story? Is the doctor a werewolf as well? I want to know more about him.
Well, if you've ever watched Twilight, of course the Doctor's a werewolf.
Yikes.
But in Twilight, he's a vampire.
Spoilers. I have not seen Twilight.
A vampire.
A vampire.
We say vampire, okay?
Vampire, I guess.
Wow.
Some people tried to explain to me how to say like different, like V and W, but I didn't hear the difference, so I gave up. I gave up.
I gave it.
I gave up.
I don't know why I said it like that.
So how do you think this story is going to continue?
Oof. That's hard
Olsen,
to
you
tell.
first.
Okay. This was the first 4 chapters, or was it 3? I don't remember.
4.
4, okay. In the past 6 chapters, we're still trying to rival the mystery who this young boy or man or a person was that you saw, that you know.
Yes, probably some internal turmoil in her mind.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand. Maybe, like, where did the wolf go? Why was he naked?
A naked man running away from the clinic.
Yes.
And then in chapter 10 something dramatic happens, and
Okay,
she finally sees him somewhere, and she's like, oh, I know this butt everywhere. Like, I know this bosom.
I know this butt.
Yeah, like she's in the swimming pool or something, and swimming, and then she's swimming in the water. Her head pokes always up, and she sees someone walking next to her the pool, and she only sees the back part, but she knows that butt.
She
and
knows it.
It's him.
Oh no.
So she runs to him like, "You are the naked guy," and he was like, "What naked guy?
What?
Me? I'm just a nerd."
I'm not a naked guy. I'm fully dressed.
Yeah, and
In
also,
the swimming pool?
he's just in the swimwear. But of course he has chiseled abs, of course.
Of course. And
Chiseled.
perfect amount of hair.
Shining because he's just been out of the pool.
Yeah, and they used to be classmates, or he's in her class where she's studying in the veterinarian school.
She hasn't started veterinarian school.
We obviously struggle with more than the V.
She's still in high school, and
Yeah, he's
well,
in high school. Yeah, he's
let's hear
kid.
like
what
let's
year
hear
is
Marta's.
she in high school?
Yeah.
Is she in the last year?
My
Is she a
thought was she's like 17 or 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
she's probably a senior.
Yeah, so the guy's definitely in her school. Probably a new kid, just like in Twilight.
Well, I think
Mm-hmm.
she will continue. She will be looking for him. Both the naked boy. What?
Where's my phone, Martha?
I don't know.
Okay, go on, Martha. I found it.
She will.
I'm finding something, so continue.
She will be wrecking her brain over where the wolf went and who that naked boy was. And I think she will be looking for both of them a lot. She'll be like, where are they? And she will look, and she'll say to John, like, when he comes to work, she's like, yeah, I brought a wolf in, but he's gone, and I don't know where he went. And John is like, lol.
Yeah, and he's like,
What a
wolf?
jokester.
What wolf? I don't know anything.
Yeah, and and she just looks, and then time goes by, and she doesn't find either of them, and it's been like a year and a half or so, and she's finished high school, and she's gone to vet school, and now she's studying, and she still has a internship with John every now and then.
You're going deep.
Yeah,
like
and she's
far in
working
the
real
future.
Hard.
How many chapters is this in the story?
It's pretty fast. Like there's a time jump.
Oh, okay. So it's only 5
And
chapters.
she has kind of forgotten about the whole incident because it's been so long. And then one day when she's closing up the practice, she goes out and there's a boy waiting for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of like, when she looks at him, she feels like she knows who he is, but at the same time she has no idea. And he like walks up to her and she's kind of scared because, you know, even though she does know him, she doesn't know him.
Cool.
And then he's like, I just wanted to thank you. And she's like, what?
Nani?
And he's like, that night
Nani?
you saved me. And I haven't stopped thinking about you since then. But I had to heal with my pack. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? And
This is getting sexual.
Yes, and
It always
he's
has
like,
to be.
you know who I am. And then she can feel it on the inside. She's like, he's the wolf. But how could it be? And yeah, I don't know what happens after that.
Okay, but both of those are pretty good.
Both first are wrong, Diddi says.
Well, Olsen was closer, I think.
What?
Damn.
Damn, I'm shocked myself.
So
I
the
thought
idea
mine
was
so
that they
good.
were classmates, and she obviously
So she knew
kind
the
of
book.
she kind of recognized or kind of recognized him, but she didn't really know who he was. After a while, she starts kind of obsessing like about the boy in the class. She's like, but
I got
is
that
it
book.
really him?
Mm-hmm.
And starts to notice that like, I don't know, I think maybe that he's absent some nights or something. or,
I was saying abs.
You noticed his abs were kind of nuts.
very nice abs and hairy.
For a young teenage boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the thought was that she's so obsessed that she one day after school she follows him, and this happens to be on another full moon,
Oh my.
where before every full moon the kind of pack meets up.
Ooh.
And they have a big meeting, like a monthly meeting.
Eating some Big Macs in the pack.
Yeah.
And yeah, eating some Big Macs.
Yes.
And they kind of she managed or she kind of follows them or follows him to the meeting, and then they all start. My imagination is like Luna is there. She's like the pack leader.
Mm-hmm.
She's the alpha.
Oh, gender bending. Damn.
And they all start turning into werewolves.
I know. Would you describe it like in American Werewolf London? Would you describe it in details? They're contorting in their bodies and like
Their faces contorting
yeah,
as they morph into more animal form.
yeah, anthropomorphic animals. I'm using the big ones.
But once they turn into werewolves, their heightened sense of smell lead them to sense her.
Oh yeah, similar.
She's very close, and then they kind of surround her. And of course, the boy protects her.
Of course.
Because she's his moit.
She's well, eventually they will become mates.
Wow.
Yes.
How many chapters would it take on many books?
I don't know, like
7.
Three
and then she
books,
gets
3
pregnant,
books or
and she's
something
almost
like that.
dying, so
Yeah,
he has to
3
bite her.
3 books in, they'll
Yeah,
become
something like
mates.
Yeah.
So I hadn't really thought out the kind of abuse thing. It was supposed to be part of the accident.
Yeah.
What was the accident?
and also-
we were so intrigued by that. We were both like sitting at the edge of
We were
our
like-
seat when you said it.
We were like, oh.
yeah.
this is
It's kind of a tease to what's to come in future chapters when she's talking, like confiding in him about her feelings and her like difficulty to connect with other people, to let her guard down.
Yes.
But this is also why she was like hesitant to shake John's hand. John was obviously going to be a part of this somehow. I'm not entirely sure.
That's good.
Gabrielle, she's slowly going to
John
be.
is the alpha. No,
Gabrielle
the
is
alpha
slowly
was
going to be
Luna, of course.
phased out, but because they become more and more distant as Levita becomes more and more entrenched in the werewolf society.
Just like Anna Kendrick character in Twilight.
Exactly.
That's the only part I know about the movie. Anna Kendrick is in it, so it must be good.
Yeah, I actually didn't know she was in it, but I googled her the other day and it said Twilight, and I was like, what?
Best character in Twilight.
True. So yeah.
What more did I want to say? Oh, there was one thing. Marta had the condition that we had to use the word mate, which I didn't use yet.
Yes.
But I was looking for like, how can I use the word mate in as many ways as possible. And of course it's mate as in a member of the clan.
Best
like,
mate.
Best, sure. Two mate, obviously. We touched upon that one. Soulmate.
Dirty.
Yes.
Just a British mate,
Yeah.
like a buddy.
Said it. Gosh.
Yep.
That
And
must
then
make sense.
I was thinking kind of outside the box. What can I think
What
of?
mate?
And then first thing, of course, bathmate. Not sure how I was gonna get that into the
my
story,
God.
but I was gonna get into the story like somehow.
Oh no! It went
And then-
there of all places. I did not expect this.
That
Go
would have
on.
been amazing.
Then I thought, well, what about just words that sound like mate? So I thought, oh, maybe like a maid, like a cleaning lady, a maid.
Yeah,
Whoa.
like Marta misunderstandings you had in
Yes.
the previous podcasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was trying to figure out like as many ways to say mate or something similar to that as possible. But in the end, none of it got into the story.
I can picture you having like a big whiteboard on the wall, like writing, "Mate, how can I use this?
How
Like
can I use this?
connecting the dots and like impossible."
You should have just named someone Kate.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
I'm
do
going
you
to talk
have
about my
artwork?
right. I don't have artwork, but I'm just going to talk slightly about my process of writing this.
Yes.
It took about 2 evenings, I think.
Yeah.
Probably like 4 hours in total.
Wow.
First of all, I wrote down all the points that I should include and what they were. It's like main character. What's her name? And I started looking for like names related to wolves or werewolves or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had some things that kind of were okay, but I ended up with Levita. The other name I had was like Axalia, but it's too difficult to pronounce.
Oh, that would be so funny. Oh, yeah.
And then obviously Marta said unnecessary descriptions are welcome, and I took that to heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
I channeled
liked
I channeled my inner unnecessary description thing, and just wrote a bunch of things. What I took inspiration from was like in Icelandic class at home, we had to write like the old stories,
Yeah.
and some of them had like whole paragraphs of like unnecessary descriptions, like the way their eyes tilted and something like that, and like how dark their skin was and their hair length and color and everything, and it was just so unnecessary. And you would read that and you were like, what the hell did I just read? So I took that to heart, and I really went with it.
True.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was very, very, very good.
Olsen was shook when you were describing Gabrielle.
Yes.
I'm still sure. I'm waiting for him to say, and he was a boy.
And it was a man.
Yeah.
The next thing I did was kind of hash out the ideas. So I had 2 ideas.
Yeah.
One was that she was a werewolf, obviously.
Mhm.
And then the next thing I wrote was something like Teen Wolf. Her birthday coincides with a full moon, and that's exactly when she transforms for the first time.
Yikes.
Damn.
And then I wrote some other points, which was like she's a vegan but starts having cravings for meat.
Oh.
That would be good in today.
Good.
Next point was moving to a new town because of a recent loss of a parent,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with an uncle or aunt.
Mm-hmm.
The next story, like the next idea I had, was the vet story. And then I kind of diverged from the idea, because the idea was that some animals or pets were coming in to the vet's clinic with after having been attacked by wolves or something like that.
Oh, that'd be good, juicy part.
And then somehow she's thrown into the world of wolves. And then I actually wrote, maybe someone brings in a hurt wolf. Why would they do that? One of her animal-loving friends accidentally ran over one.
Yes.
And then I wrote, wolf turns out to be her schoolmate, tells her not to tell anyone. She gets curious and follows him one day, only to find the werewolf clan meeting up.
Cleaning.
Werewolf clan meeting up.
Yes.
So I kind of had I wrote down my idea and then started writing from the top, just one chapter at a time.
Yeah.
I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
built your story a lot up before you started writing. I think me and Marta just wrote.
I wrote down what I wanted to happen because I didn't want to forget.
Oh.
So it's only Olsen with
Yeah,
his
I have,
he's written down abs,
Yeah.
bulging abs,
nothing
throbbing
else,
abs,
only abs.
shining abs, furry abs.
I didn't write anything.
I
I just
have
kept on
at
writing.
the-
I couldn't stop.
at the bottom here. I have what I wrote.
Oh yeah! Wow. You have you have a thing about the story.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just realized, in the coming season, we will do continuation on the story.
Ooh.
The part 2 of the saga we
or
have.
we could do a different type of story.
Yeah, or just we see how it progresses.
You just want us to finish so we can release these as books.
I know.
I thought we were finished with his stories since we kind of talked about how we would continue.
Yeah, but now we act like, oh, you paid for your subscription. Welcome. Now we can unlock this by clicking here to open up the text.
Yes.
Now that we've kind
how
of
we
locked
earn
you
money.
into the story, you have to get some more, don't you? You only have to pay $6.99 a year or $3.99 a month.
True. But
The
yeah,
year subscription is so much better.
but we have to do this again. We have to do this again. Something like this.
I've noticed though that abusive stories and werewolf stories are getting really popular with
Oh.
teenage audience.
Oh no.
Especially abuse. I think
Oh.
everyone is into the bad boy aspect. Patricia.
Oh.
Uh,
Yikes, you're just dragging her down.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
because
Patricia.
she's
That's why
really
she
into
likes Olsen.
bad boys.
What you gonna
Olsen.
do? What
And
you gonna do?
the other day I was looking into one of those, not story apps like this, but episode, where you play stories and you are acting out the story,
Mhm.
like you're a character in it. And I opened up one of these books, and it was choose one book to start. And one of them was called Lust Under the Moon.
Ooh.
And it was
Ooh.
action, erotic, werewolf.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna.
And the other one was, yes, and Olsen's sister also talked to me about these apps that keep advertising these werewolf stories. And she told me she keeps getting stories from a different app as well that has CEO stories.
V was also talking about that. The CEO stories to me today.
Oh, yeah, and your sister
this
told me
something-
about that, and then the other book that's in this thing that I opened that had the werewolf book. The other book was called You Don't Own Me, and it was erotic mafia.
Oh.
Is this something like 50 Shades of Grey, where he has all the power, and then there's
I
like
guess, probably.
Oh,
Wait, I'm going to do something. Yeah.
my alarm was ringing. I have to go
Oh,
soon.
one more. Okay,
But yeah,
okay.
I think especially like abusive stories are getting quite popular, and I've heard from a friend that like abusive point of view stories on TikTok are really popular. Like
Oh, no.
everyone is making that.
Okay.
The world is a strange place.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm making something here. Oh no! Wait. Okay, yeah. Are you ready?
Yes.
Diddi was very muscular. He'd often take many walks with me to the nearby ski slopes and hike through the pine forests, which was just an excuse to warm up for the subsequent hill hiking or snow hoeing. He had a great sense of place for a human being. We got back to Granby from my adventures. We sat around the fire and smoked something. In our early 20s, we couldn't afford cigarettes, so we were always borrowing from other people. I didn't remember this how now, but when our parents were divorced, Eric took our things and left to the city. When he came back, he sold our things and moved to Van Nuys, probably so he.
Is this
Oh
like
my
a
God.
story generator?
Yeah.
I think Patricia was doing this as well the other day.
Like I said to you.
She kept sending, she was sending me, and then later that day or the next day you were sending me as well, and I was like, why is everyone making these stories?
Okay, I'll wait what I was going to talk about a little bit. I was going to translate some lyrics that is now in the radio in Iceland, in Icelandic, and it's quite vulgar.
Yeah, that's for the next episode.
In our season finale,
Yes.
Season finale. Oh my
Yes.
god.
I think, because usually people have like season podcasts as well, so I guess episode 20 is the final season before Martha leaves Iceland for good.
Yikes.
And we will continue our stories of apartment hunting and how Diddi is doing in his new life as a Swedish young man. Strapping young lad.
Yeah. Now he's a book writer.
Yeah.
He has fans
Making no money at
over the
all.
world.
Nobody needs money. Money's just a
From
idea.
Iceland to Sweden.
And Portugal.
Oh.
You always bring her in.
Yeah, because she's the fan I was talking about.
No, what? What? I'm shocked. Francesca, the fan. I got you. Okay, so yeah. Thank you guys for listening. This was very fun recording our stories and listening to
Yes.
them and reacting, and it was
It was
quite
very
intriguing.
funny.
Martha laughed a lot. Ha ha
Yes.
ha, she said.
I even laughed at my own story.
True. Yeah, that's why I tried not to look at you too much, because I knew you would laugh if we would do some faces. If it would contort my face.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in the season finale.
Of Storm Kastið in
Storm Kastið.
in the hurricane episode called Hurricane Katrina.
Oh. Okay, bye bye.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Bye bye.
Bye.